The political landscape in America is constantly evolving, but one of the most striking developments recently has been the way in which Donald Trump and his MAGA movement are positioning themselves as allies of working-class Americans, particularly union workers. Union leaders, like those of the Teamsters, have often been seen in close association with Trump, a man whose policies and rhetoric have been criticized for being harmful to labor rights. The idea that these leaders would continue to support a man who has been actively working to dismantle labor protections is not only perplexing but alarming for the very people they are supposed to represent. This video aims to expose the growing betrayal of union workers, shining a light on Trump's continued efforts to undermine worker protections, dismantle the National Labor Relations Board (NLRB), and support policies that will hurt the rights of everyday workers. Despite his pledges to be the working man's president, the actions of Donald Trump and his associates tell a different story, one of exploitation, deceit, and broken promises. As union leaders continue to endorse him, union workers are beginning to realize the devastating implications of this betrayal. Let's break down the truth behind this dangerous political alliance and what it means for the future of American labor rights. The hypocrisy of union leaders supporting Trump. One of the most surprising and troubling developments in recent years is the continued support for Donald Trump from union leaders. While not all union heads are in his camp, many influential figures in organized labor, such as Sean O'Brien, president of the Teamsters, have been vocal in their endorsement of Trump. Just recently, O'Brien posted a message thanking Trump for his support of American workers, specifically praising him for nominating Representative Lori Chavez-DeRemer for U.S. Secretary of Labor. On the surface, this might seem like a victory for labor advocates, but let's pause for a moment and reflect. When has Donald Trump ever put American workers first? The answer is simple: he never has. Trump's entire career has been characterized by an unwillingness to support working-class Americans and labor rights, favoring instead corporate interests, tax cuts for the rich, and policies that harm unions. It's important to remember that under Trump's administration, worker protections took a massive hit. From undermining the NLRB, which exists to protect workers' rights to collectively bargain, to the constant attacks on the Affordable Care Act and workers' benefits, Trump's legacy with regard to labor rights is one of hostility, not support. So, why would union leaders continue to back him? In O'Brien's praise of Trump, he fails to acknowledge the ongoing destruction of worker rights by figures like Elon Musk, who is actively involved in efforts to gut the National Labor Relations Board (NLRB). In fact, Musk's creation of the DOJ agency and his collaboration with Trump's allies, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, indicate a clear agenda to weaken worker protections, not strengthen them. Just 2 weeks ago, a Trump-appointed judge in the Eastern District of Texas ruled to strip millions of Americans of their overtime rights, making it harder for workers earning less than $56,000 to receive fair pay. This ruling alone should be a red flag to any union leader considering supporting Trump. The dismantling of labor protections under Trump's watch. The signs of Trump's betrayal are everywhere. Over the past few weeks, Trump's appointed judges and key allies have been taking steps that directly harm the rights of American workers. The case in Texas is just one example of how Trump's influence continues to shape the judicial landscape, undermining workers' ability to claim fair wages. Further fueling this destruction of labor protections, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos have been actively fighting the NLRB in the courts. Both Musk and Bezos have taken legal action against the NLRB, challenging its constitutionality and pushing for its dismantling. This is the very same agency that helps protect workers' rights to collectively bargain, file grievances, and ensure that they aren't unfairly targeted by employers. Under Trump, the NLRB is poised to cease existing altogether, leaving millions of American workers with no recourse if they face retaliation or wage theft from their employers. Additionally, Trump's new appointments, like Russell Vought, the author of Project 2025, who now leads the Office of Management and Budget, point to even more devastating cuts to labor rights in the future. Vought's Project 2025 explicitly outlines plans to dismantle unions, attack labor laws, and gut protections for American workers. With such individuals shaping Trump's policy agenda, it's clear that his administration will be no friend to the working class. Union members are waking up to the reality. While union leaders like O'Brien continue to endorse Trump, many rank-and-file union members are starting to recognize the betrayal unfolding before their eyes. A growing movement of workers is actively challenging the narrative pushed by their leadership, and this shift is being reflected online. For example, union workers have created subreddits to discuss the disconnect between their leaders' support for Trump and the harm Trump's policies are doing to the labor movement. Union members are speaking out about the fact that under Trump, issues like trans rights and immigration are being used as distractions to prevent them from addressing the real problems affecting their lives. Issues like rising costs of living, inadequate healthcare, and wage stagnation. Many workers feel that the GOP's focus on cultural issues is a way to keep them divided, while the true power brokers, like billionaires Musk and Bezos, continue to exploit the labor force. Some union members have gone as far as to say that the entire election has been skewed by manufactured issues, with both Trump and the GOP using divisive rhetoric about minority groups to distract workers from their true economic struggles. The problem, as many workers see it, is that while the rich get richer, they are left with nothing: no job security, no living wage, and no benefits. Biden's pro-union record versus Trump's war on labor rights. While union leaders are still playing footsie with Trump, workers themselves are beginning to realize the difference between the two parties when it comes to labor rights. Under President Joe Biden, there have been real, tangible benefits for workers. Biden's administration has not only protected pensions and expanded health care, but has also been steadfast in defending the NLRB. In contrast, Trump's record on unions has been disastrous. He actively worked to dismantle the NLRB, leaving unions with fewer tools to defend workers. Biden has been heralded by labor leaders as one of the most pro-union presidents in history, with his administration rolling back anti-union policies and investing in infrastructure. His policies are geared toward rebuilding American industry while protecting workers' rights. In contrast, Trump's promises to union leaders during his time in office, such as protecting pensions and boosting infrastructure, turned out to be little more than empty rhetoric, as he failed to deliver on nearly every front. Conclusion: the MAGA movement and its supporters are revealing their true intentions when it comes to labor rights: to dismantle them. As union leaders continue to praise Donald Trump, they are betraying the very people they are supposed to represent. Trump's record, marked by his war on the NLRB, his support of corporate giants like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and his ongoing attacks on workers' rights, should be a wake-up call to any union worker who still believes that Trump will deliver for them. Union members are starting to realize the truth about Trump, and the rise of online communities discussing these issues is a clear sign that the rank and file are rejecting the false narrative being pushed by their leadership. It's time for union leaders to stop enabling Trump's attacks on labor rights and stand up for the workers they claim to represent. The future of American labor depends on it. If union members continue to allow their leaders to cozy up to Trump, they risk losing everything they've fought for over the past century. The fight for workers' rights is far from over, but the betrayal of union leaders in supporting Trump is a clear threat to the future of labor in America. It's time to hold these leaders accountable and demand a true commitment to the workers' cause.